Hello and welcome everybody! Welcome to round 7 of F2 in SLR. Talking to you from the commentary booth today are Eversnaxolotl and Ocean Chief.
Hello there, how's it going?
Alright, I'll put the driver standings on the screen right now. It's looking like a very interesting season actually still. So Pretorius is still in the lead and he's racing today as well. But he has been... There have been a few drivers who have managed to catch up to him in the last few races, namely, well, McKenna, Icewind and Joel are all on the chase here for some good positions. So I think we might just see a very close battle today. And of course Vietnam, very dangerous track, very easy to make mistakes. We'll have to see how everybody fares today.
Yeah, it's a fan favorite, this track, not... F1 hasn't actually raced on this track, which is incredible. But here we are, racing in the F2 series. Yeah, and we're seeing McKender at top of the pops at the minute with Icewind, his teammate, right behind. But yeah, Icewind just pipping him actually, and McKender down to P2 momentarily, back up to P1. So it looks like McKender is looking good here for at least front row.
We do also have we do have Joel beating his teammate Pretorius right now. He's ahead of both Crystal and Pretorius. He's in P4 right now. So actually all of those 3 drivers chasing Pretorius for the championship lead are ahead of him right now. We'll have to see if they keep those positions, of course. It's very easy to make a mistake in these cars, especially on this track. But yeah, we should be in for a very interesting race, I'm sure.
Yeah. And it's like as well, splitting the Force India, or not Force India, I'm in F1 mode. The pink cars.
Yeah, let's just call them the BWT. I think the sponsorship will be just fine.
But I'm keeping a close eye on Pretorius. He is creeping up the standings here. He's up to P5. He's past his teammate now P4, but still a couple of corners to go here. Could go either way. Aziken as well, P3 currently, P2 actually. So the times are tight at the top here as I think McKenna just crosses the line, and it does indeed go P1 for this one. Icewind P2, Aziken P3, and Pretorius and Joel in P4, P5.
Yeah, that were some really close times there. We saw the positions swapping quite a few times. There might have been some small mistakes there, but yeah, everybody seeming to get a pretty good time there, except for I assume Gorla, who didn't really set a good lap there. Probably just a mistake somewhere, maybe ran into a wall. It's not that hard to do on this track, and it's easy to spin in these F2 cars as well, because you can lock up the rear tires, unlike you can do in Formula 1 in this game. Right, so actually very big lead there from McKender at the front. So we might just see him, if he can keep up that form in the race, he'll have it pretty easy to drive away into the distance.
Yeah, and he has a teammate playing part of Wingman today in P2, so we'll be able to hold off that charge of Aziken in P3. I can't remember, has Aziken raced in F2 before? I'm pretty sure he has, but I know we know of him mostly from Tier 4, and he did win in Mexico, so he is on a... He won Tier 2 as well, actually. Did you know that, Eversnax?
Oh, he did? No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he went to Tier 2 this week, won the race, so
that's impressive.
Yeah, he's on a tear at the minute, so looks like Hanoi is another one of his tracks.
Yeah, he has been racing in some of the F2 races this season, and he's had pretty good form for the most part of it. But yeah, this looks like a strong track for him, and I'm sure we'll see him up the order unless something happens during the race. Alright, and on to the formation lap we go. We have 16 laps in this feature race. That's gonna make... we're gonna take a quick look at the tire strategies. And there's actually quite a split. We have McKenna and Icewind, the 2 BWT on the soft tires. Then behind them is Aken and Pretorius, both opting for the medium tire, the harder compound here. Then we have Joel and Futuristic in P5 and 6 going for the softer compound again. And everybody behind going for the medium tires. So it should be quite interesting to watch here. Maybe Aken and Pretorius might drop down a bit in the first stint. Well, we'll have to see how easy overtaking is on these long straights. it's definitely hard to follow in some parts of these tracks, of this track in the F1 cars. But in these F2 cars, we always see the cars running very close to each other, and that might just make all the difference here today.
Yeah, and I wonder how big a part a safety car is going to play in this race, because I'm looking at these walls at the edge of the track limits, and they look pretty intimidating to me. So I'm sure we're going to see a safety car, or at least a VSC at some point, as Crystals gets disqualified from the hardest lap of the race. It looks like he didn't even get off the start-finish line, actually. See him on the mini-map there.
I think he's been teleported back.
Oh, yes.
We do see a lot of spins in these formation laps in Vietnam, so maybe that was just something like that. Some driver being caught out. In this case, it's Crystal. It's really easy to do in these F2 cars, especially if you don't have a lot of practice on the track. And I think there's a lot of drivers who would not have a lot of practice on this track because, as you said before, we didn't race this track in the F1 cars. So it might just be even harder to do in the F2 cars now with less experience on this track. And I also really believe that there's not a lot of drivers who actually like this track. I believe in the interviews in the last round, we asked quite a few of the drivers what they were thinking about this race, and we did not get a lot of positive replies there. So yeah, not the most popular track of the calendar for sure.
Yeah, but let's hope it throws up an interesting race today for us, as all the drivers are lining up in the grid. Gurla pulling up in his grid slot at the back, so I think we're ready to get underway for this one.
And we do get ready for the race starts. It's 1, 2, 3 lights, 4, 5, and off we go. And it looks like a pretty good start for both the BWT cars. Maybe not the best start for McKender. I believe there's Azaken already trying to go for an overtake. Both Pretorius and Joel side by side. It looks like an overtake. One of the Dams cars is ahead of Azaken now. I believe it's Pretorius. The timing screen is not telling us much right now. It's looking for like a very good start from McKender. He's getting away pretty clear. Icewind behind him. Then Pretorius, Azaken, and Joel. So pretty clean start from all of those. But Pretorius already gaining a position at this race start.
Yeah, and
both
Joel
of those
looked
guys on the mediums, of course.
Might see a move here from Joel on Azaken. Yeah, I think he had a bit of overspeed on him, but no, he decides to back out of it.
Oh,
Azaken smashes into the back of Pretorius, and there was damage there, so front wing damage for Azaken, and that's going to kill his race.
Yeah, especially because if you pit too early here, you're going to have to make another pit stop. I'm not sure how much wing damage Azaken took from that. I believe it's just an end plate, so you might just be able to run with that for a bit. But yeah, not optimal for sure, and that's going to cost him a few positions, I'm sure. But we have seen quite a few of these drivers run with wing damage for quite a while. Oh, and he does it again! Yeah, he's run into the back of Pretorius again now, and now Joel is ahead of him. Yeah, and he's carrying a lot of damage now, so that's going to cost him.
Yeah, and especially for this next section as well, it's tight. It's almost like the S's Japan, but only with walls.
Yeah, Futuristic is already on the back of him, and it's looking like Azaken is quite struggling with the understeer right now. We have Joel right on the back of Pretorius as well, so those two Dams cars are definitely going to be fighting in the next few laps.
Yeah, and Azaken does indeed stay out, as you say. It wouldn't qualify as an actual mandatory pit stop. It has to be after 3 laps, I believe, for F2. So Azaken stand out for now. It is going to hurt him. Pretorius? No, I was going to say
it's
Pretorius.
just the timing screen again.
Yeah, it's confusing. Yeah.
We see Futuristic all over the back of Azaken now. He really wants to get past, and it should be somewhat easy, I think, with the softer tires, and also Azaken having quite a lot of wing damage. There's some touching here. It's all very close, in part due to the track, of course. This might just be the chance for an overtake here, but without the DRS, it's really hard to get past anyone. But he does make a lunge for the inside. Does he go down the inside through this turn, though? He keeps the inside, but it's not enough. Azaken keeps the position for now. Futuristic still trying to fight back here, but he has to tuck in behind for now. McKender already getting a bit of a gap to Icewind. I'm not sure how much it actually is because of the timing screen, but Pretorius is definitely dropping back to those two guys, with Joel right behind still and trying to fight for position. We have Classic Boy up in P7, by the way, if the timing screen is correct, which is quite a good start for him. He was I believe he didn't have the best qualifying. He started in P10, I believe. So
Yep.
yeah, making up quite some positions here.
Yeah, and there's a bit of a battle at the back actually as X-Crystal sends it up the inside of Yuta and gets that moved on. He's up to P10. Oh, and Gurla is off. Gurla span just ahead of X-Crystals there and is into the wall. I think he's got some damage as well. Actually,
Yeah.
don't see any damage, but yeah, he did definitely span out there, and there was contact with the wall, so might be carrying some non-visual damage, shall we say?
Yeah, and of course it can impact you quite a bit on these very tight tracks when you have walls on both of your sides, because if you get too much understeer, you're in the wall very quickly, and that damage just keeps racking up. I believe the timing screen might actually be correct now. So we have Icewind just over a second behind McKender, but he did get the DRS at the detection point. So he's going to be chasing down McKender now for P1. We have quite a few gaps down the order then. Pretorius is already 4 seconds behind those two guys, but he's on the medium tire, so he will be able to run a lot longer. We have Futuristic right behind Azaken. That's just a move waiting to happen here, but it's not quite enough yet.
Yeah, he's biding his time. He probably could have got a move done there on the previous straight, but backed out of it. Probably opting for this straight, which is, I believe it's ERS, or DRS, sorry, is available on this lap. So should see it activated around about now. That should help him pull in Azaken a wee bit. He's a bit too far back at the minute to make a move, I believe. So we'll be stuck behind Azaken for another lap, it seems, for now. But I'm looking at Pretorius on these mediums. He is 4 seconds off these front two, but he is on this medium tire compound, so he's going to be on softs at the end. So if he can maintain this gap and keep it as low as possible, once he's on the soft tire, he's going to be looking pretty good for a win here.
Yeah, and of course we have the BWT teammates fighting for position out in front now, so they're going to be losing a bit of time because of that. Unless, of course, there could be team orders, but I don't think we've seen any of those in the previous races, so I don't believe they're going to start doing that now. I believe they're fighting for position here. We have Crystal now on the back of Scordo. I think Crystal lost a few positions at the race start, and he's now slowly making his way back up the grid. And he's already up to P9, right on the back of Scordo now, trying to make that move with the DRS assistance now.
Oh, Pretorius is off. Pretorius is off. He's left the
session. That's odd. Did he lose connection, maybe?
That is strange, yeah, because AI would take over usually, but it's happened at turn 1, it seemed like, on the exit.
Oh, there's a bit of contact here between Crystal and Scordo, but Crystal does make the move for now. And now Scordo is going to have to hold back Yoda, who's also right behind. Yeah, that was pretty odd, I'd say.
Yeah, and it's showing Pretorius is offline Steam, so that is a full disconnect from him.
Yeah,
so he just disconnected at the wrong time and went into the wall then.
The car did lock. The car did look to be a bit off the track there. So maybe it disconnected first, and then it actually the AI took over a bit too late there, losing a bit of time because of that. But now we see a move from a Futuristic on Azaken now. He's taking the inside line, but he's not quite on the side of him. He's not quite side by side, and Azaken keeps the position for possibly another lap now. Futuristic really needs to get past Azaken here. I believe they're losing a bit of time because of that wing damage Azaken is carrying, and Futuristic is on the softer tire, so he would be wanting to push a bit more right now.
Yeah, and you can see it. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, we have Icewind right on the back of the McKender now. It's actually getting really close for the lead now.
Pretorius down to P8. Is still not back in the session. X-Crystal's up to P7, so the longer Pretorius is back online, so yeah, it looks like he might join any minute now, hopefully. But he's going to be pretty annoyed. Oh, and Yuta as well getting past there, so Pretorius lost so much time. It was looking like he might contest this race win, but I don't see it now unless there's a safety car.
Yeah, that was looking like a very strong race, and with the opposite strategy, it was looking really good as well. But now, of course, he's stuck within, like in the middle of all the medium runners, so he's losing all the advantage he had from that. We'll still have to see how good the medium soft is compared to the soft medium, but yeah, he's definitely lost a lot of time and a lot of positions due to that.
Yeah, and as I can Futuristic going at it again, as I can trying to get that move back on Futuristic, but Futuristic holding on to the outside on the roundabout.
We also have Classic Boy on the back of them, so he's now up into P6 because of Pretorius' troubles.
Ooh,
and he's right behind Zeken and Futuristic. Zeken now taking the position back from Futuristic. And Futuristic does have to slot in behind again, so Zeken back up to P4 now with the wing damage still.
Yeah, the DRS on that back straight is so powerful. It's so long. If you can get a good run out of the previous corner, you're looking pretty good for an overtake.
Yeah, and I think these F2 cars handled the damage quite well. We've seen that a lot last season as well, but also this season, where drivers get some wing damage, but they just carry on and keep driving very quickly. Of course, it's also down to the skill of these drivers.
Iceman's getting past McKender. McKender got a really bad run out on the final corner.
Yeah, he really got out of shape there, and it's Icewind in P1, and McKender behind him now.
So I wonder if McKender's thinking about pitting sometime soon, because these tires do look like they're falling off a little bit here.
Oh, Icewind getting out of shape now. Icewind locking up, going very wide, and now McKender with the DRS, with the chance to get back at him. And of course there's also the very long back straight coming. He doesn't go for the dive now, he wants to keep it safe for now. He wants to just stay behind until the big DRS zone comes. Yeah, I think these softs are losing quite some pace now. Futuristic is really struggling behind Zeken, and Classic Boy is very much catching up to those two guys. And I believe Zeken might actually be catching Joel slowly now. Pretorius now back past Yoda into P8. And McKenna does have the DRS. He's right behind, he's got the overspeed, but is it enough? No, he's too far behind to make a move here.
Yeah.
Just catching up to Zeken here on the straight as well, but also too far behind to make a move. Oh, Classic Boy goes for a dive! That was looking very dangerous, but he gets the position from Futuristic. Futuristic keeping it safe there, making sure not to get any damage. And it's Classic Boy in P5 now, trying to get past the Zeken.
And McKender is indeed into the pits this lap, so we're going to see some of the soft guys. This is a pit window open, McKender in, Icewind assuming control of this race for now, and the winner is Joel going to come in as well. No, Joel stays out.
Futuristic also comes in.
So two of the soft runners in the pits.
And the other two staying out, of course. Gola has already pitted for the mediums on the previous lap. Oh, so there's almost a move from Classic Boy. He was thinking about it. He was taking a look at the inside there, but he's gonna stay behind the Zeken for now. Maybe looking at his chances for the long straight.
Yeah, I wonder if Classic Boy is aware that his Zeken has wing damage ahead, because that might be important information to know. But yeah, Classic Boy looking pretty punchy here at this phase of the race, and if he can get a good run out of the roundabout, it's going to look pretty good because he's going to have DRS available. And do these cars have DRS, or am I just making that up?
I don't think they do. I think they just have the DRS assistance, but he's very close to the back of Zeken. I'm not sure he's going to need any assistance here. He's going to have the slipstream now all the way down the straight, and the DRS is going to enable in just a second. And he's catching. They're side by side, and Classic Boy should be next to him at least by the time the turn comes around. They're really close to each other there. Classic Boy keeping the inside, as Zeken on the outside, having to back out of the move, or having to back out of his defense rather, to make sure he doesn't hit a wall.
Yeah, Zeken run out wide there onto the curb, so wasn't able to get the best exit. Allowed Classic Boy up to P3, so Classic Boy on a tear. Gurla as well, while that was happening, had a spin at the back, so his race gone from worse to worser.
Futuristic just got past Scorjo there. Futuristic already, of course, after pitting, came out behind Scorjo, but now on the main straight. He didn't catch that much, but Scorjo had a bit of a moment. He went a bit wide into the into the hairpin. So now it's Futuristic back up into P9 behind McKender. And it's Icewind pitting and Azaken also into the pits with his wing damage now.
So I'm going to see, yeah, he's getting his wing changed. This will cost him around about 5 seconds extra. And I know they have 2 pit crews aren't as fast as the F1 guys. So it's going to feel like an absolute long time. And he gets away, so he is going to come out P10 it looks like.
And Icewind is very much ahead of McKender now. He's gained a lot of time from that overcut. So McKender down in P7 while Icewind is in P3. And the only medium runner he has ahead of him now is Classic Boy. So looking very good for Icewind right now. He's ahead of Pretorius already. Pretorius, by the way, slowly reeling in crystals here. He's almost within a 1 second window, but not quite enough for the DRS yet, I believe.
Yeah, I think Pretorius is silently praying for a safety car. Because I think it would just be absolute, you know, this to bring him back into the race if there's a safety car runabout now. But so far, there's been no real big issues. I think it's with the 11 drivers on track. The chance. Oh, and Pretorius. Oh, making a mistake there. But yeah, he ran too deep. He snatched a brake there and ran deep. Was able to save it, no damage to the car, but yeah, that's going to hurt him a little bit.
I mean, there is a very high chance of a safety car in F2, regardless of the track. But now that we're in Vietnam, a track where most of the drivers probably aren't too experienced, and also where the walls are just within sight every single turn. Oh, very interesting move by McKender here. He's taken the inside through the S's. Yoda now on the inside for the next corner, but he's squeezed on the inside, and McKender keeps that position. He's up into P6. That was a beautiful move there. Awesome driving, and yeah, Yoda just struggling a bit behind now, getting a bit of wheel spin there, but yeah, he's kept it safe. He's in P7 now. Yeah, as I was just saying, it's very easy to get a safety car in these F2 races on any track, but in Vietnam, I'm definitely expecting that the chances are there. It's still 8 laps to go, so anything could happen.
Yeah, in my experience, so usually when you want a safety car, that's when there's none.
Yeah.
So maybe we should be wishing that there isn't a safety car, so there is one.
We do have Joel out in the lead, still on the softer compound, so he's definitely hoping for a safety car right now. If there is a safety car, he's going to be in the best position, I believe. But of course, Icewind only about, I'd say, 9 seconds behind. So Icewind also looking pretty good here. Classic Boy has caught up to the back of Joel a bit, I believe, on the medium tires. So the softs are surely getting slower now, but should be able to at least make it to the end of this lap. I don't think he'll want to stay out for much longer though, even if there is a potential safety car.
Right, pulled up on the back of X Crystals here as they go for the S's. Both very fast drivers, so Prey might struggle just to get past X Crystals here because they're both on the same age of tires. 8 lap mediums. Is anybody going to go into pits? X Crystals does. Which,
and he gets the 3-second penalty.
Oh, that is unlucky. Just took the entry into the pit
lane. And somebody's crashed! Is that? Wait. It's Gola. Gola has had another spin at this in Sector 1. Just struggling a bit with this F2 car on this track. There's a lot of people in the pits actually. Not only Joel is pitting, but also Classic Boy and Crystal, Yoda and Scordo all pitting. Joel, of course, the only one of those guys going for the medium tire now as he started on the softer compound. And he's into P4 now, chasing after McKender.
Yeah, but he has Classic Boy now behind him on those fresh softs, so that's going to be a bit of a mission for Joel to stay ahead of Classic Boy, but we'll see how that pans out in the final 6 laps of this race.
Classic Boy does have to defend against Futuristic now, of course, who's definitely in his DRS window and has already caught up quite a bit on the last straight. So Classic Boy definitely trying to chase after Joel, but he's going to have to defend his position as well. And it's going to be really tough on the straight. He's got a pretty bad run out of there. Futuristic already on the back of him. looking pretty good for an overtake here. And he does look for the inside for the next corner. They're side by side, running side by side here, going into the hairpin, and okay, Futuristic has quite a bit more speed there, and he's past Classic Boy now. So Classic Boy has to make that position back, because he does need to make use of those fresh soft tires. And he does take the inside. Oh, that was almost going to be close there. So he's definitely looking for a move here, but it's not easy to overtake in this section of the track. McKendra made it out. Oh!
Futuristic leaving his mark on that wall, but no damage there. Yeah, but Classic Boy.
Oh, they're
definitely have more. He's way more grip than Futuristic. You can see it, but he just can't get past him right now.
Yeah, he's taking some very different lines as well, just trying to find a spot to get past. But yeah, he hasn't quite managed it yet because it's so tight in that section of the track specifically. And if he gets past now, it's gonna be a struggle again on the main straight. So just tucking in behind for now. He might just know that as well. He wants the DRS on the long back straight there. We have McKendra catching up to the back of Pretorius. Pretorius still on the medium tires right now. He's gonna have to pit soon, I'm sure, but he's still hoping for a safety car. But yeah, McKendra's slowly reeling him in and going for that second position soon, I'd assume. Classic Boy going for a move here. He's taking the inside, but just staying behind for now. He's gonna have the DRS on the long straight.
Oh, almost pulls up alongside him there as they exit out of the roundabout, and he's close enough here to make a move, I believe, so this should be in the bag for Classic Boy, but I think these guys are just going to be ding-donging right until the end of the race.
Yeah, Classic Boy does have the better tires right now, with Futuristic being on 3-lap-old mediums, but Futuristic did have quite a bit better of a qualifying lap than Classic Boy, if that's anything to go off for the pace they have here. But Classic Boy does like these street tracks, and he does like being close to the walls, so he might just be able to pull away now before Futuristic gets the DRS on the main straight again.
Oh yeah, he's over a second now, just through the S's there, so pulled out a massive amount of time there.
Talking about a second gap, Pretorius still not pitting, and now McKendra's right on the back of him, and he's gonna be going for a move soon, I'd assume. He's half a second behind right now, and he's gonna have the DRS assistance on all these straights leading up to the.
Oh, and he hits him in the back.
Oh!
And it spins Pretorius round. That, yeah. I think that was a bit naughty there. I wonder if McKendra's going to slow down and let him have that position back. That was not very nice for McKendra there. Just made a bit of a mistake and ran in. Just a little, smallest of tap was enough to send Pretorius round. And yeah, I think FAA, we're going to have a look at that afterwards, because McKendra did not concede that position back again.
Yeah, I barely saw that tap. They barely even touched there. But of course, the slightest tap is enough to make you spin. And these cars are probably already on the edge on this track. So if somebody taps you on the back, you're spinning pretty much. So yeah, bit of a bad move there from McKendra. But he does make it to second place in that way now, and he's going to be going after Icewind. But there's a 10-second gap. It's going to be pretty much impossible to make that up unless Icewind makes a big mistake here.
Yeah, Icewind's in his own league here. He often says he's a slow driver, which I think everybody agrees is a lot of nonsense, but you can see clearly here in F2, he has a good handle on these cars, and P1 with a 10-second gap to his teammate, that's quite an achievement.
Yeah, and I'm really impressed by how he drove his in-lap, because he gained so much time on McKendra by doing the overcut. It was really insane, and of course McKendra being stuck in traffic because of that, while Icewind kept a lot of those positions. Pretorius now finally pulling into the pits. We'll have to see where he comes out, but he's going to be dropping down the order now because there has not been a safety car in this race, which is quite impressive actually.
I think he's going to come out around about P8, around about where X Crystal is. X Crystal's just heading for the final corner now, so I wonder if he's, yeah, X Crystal's going to get him, so it looks like he's going to come out P9, or P8, sorry, Pretorius.
We have a Zaken who's caught back up to the back of Futuristic. A Zaken, of course, on older soft tires now, but without the wing damage now. He might be a lot quicker than he was at the start of the race, and he might just be able to take that position back from Futuristic after about 10 laps from when Futuristic decided to overtake a Zaken. But now a Zaken did overtake him, but he's not going to have the DRS on the big long straight here, and that might just be advantage for Futuristic here, unless Zaken gets a very good one, which he actually does. He's gaining time on Futuristic now, who can't use the ERS because those are the F2 cars, and he's gonna have to hope for the DRS assistance to be enough now. These F2 cars are actually not gaining that much time on the straight, despite having such a long straight here and the DRS as well, because you just can't boost the cars as much as you want to. And yeah, really hard to catch up to people here. So you sometimes have to go for moves somewhere else around the track, like Zaken just did in the first sector.
Yeah, pretty big gaps here, apart from that P5, P6 battle with Zaken Futuristic, but Pretorius kicking himself right now because he's out P8 on these fresh sauce, so only a few laps to go, and yeah, it looks like, I mean, if it's any consolation, he will start in pole for the next one if he finishes in P8 here, so at least that's some silver lining on a dark cloud.
Yeah, not only that, but he's going to have the opportunity to go for the fastest lap now, which also gives 2 points. So at least he has that going to defend his championship lead. And I'm sure the sprint race pole is going to help him quite a bit. He's already setting purple sectors, so it's looking pretty good for those 2 extra points for it now. Oh, and actually now is Zaken. I said he was on old tires, but he's very much catching up to the back of Classic Boy now. He's already gained a second now. Classic Boy losing time on Joel here. I think he's made some smaller mistakes. Maybe starting to struggle on these softs. They might not be in as good of a condition as he thought they might be after a few laps. But yeah, Pretorius definitely pushing to get the fastest lap here. He's got a purple first sector. He's gonna go for... He's actually catching up to the back of Crystals very quickly.
Yeah, Crystals with a time penalty as well, so he effectively Prey is P7 on track at the minute. But yeah, as for Classic Boy, I know I've often seen a Zaken behind me in Tier 4 races, and it's a stinking feeling whenever you see a Zaken behind you, because he's probably a lot faster than you. I'm going to catch you pretty quickly, so Zaken will be looking to finish P4 in this one, but he is running out of track time. We're only 2 laps after this one. Classic Boy, the gap to P5 is 1.4, but it is coming down every corner.
Did I just see damage from someone? Was that Crystal hitting the wall just slightly? I think Crystal might have lost an end plate there.
Oh yes, he has damage, yeah, on the right hand side, front right, so that's going to hurt his race even more. He might be the one that ends up in P8 here, finishing so he can go for pole in the next race.
Yeah, he's gonna have to push a bit to keep Yoda behind though because of his time penalty. I think it's 3-second time penalty, but he does have damage now, so it's possible for Yoda to still catch him. Did Pretorius not get the fastest lap? Because he caught up to the back of Crystal now.
Yeah, I think you're right. And Zaken, it looks like it's only a matter of time before Zaken gets his move done on Classic Boy. He's got a run on him already here, but...
Already pulled out to the outside, and he's already passed him. Okay, that was a lot of overspeed he had there. Classic Boy just slotting in behind, but he's going to have the DRS on the long straight now. He's going to have the chance to fight back. But Zaken getting a very good run through there. Yeah, Zaken, you can tell that he knows what he's doing. He's got a really good run onto the straight here.
Yeah, and that's interesting because Classic Boy's on 3-lap younger tires, so you'd think he would have a bit of an advantage there, but Zaken, yeah, he's far enough ahead to protect this P4 position. So, oh, and Classic Boy, very deep. Oh, and Pretorius as well up to P7, so he does, in fact, get past X Crystals.
Oh, Crystal's trying to defend it though. And he does stay side by side here as well. He still has the chance to keep the position, but Pretorius just ahead of him now. That was very close there. So Crystal now slotting in behind with the wing damage and the time penalty. I think that's going to be a pretty safe P8 now, unless he runs into a wall or something.
Yeah, and Iceland has started the final lap already here.
I believe I'm seeing why Classic Boy has been losing so much time, by the way. He's got wing damage as well. He's hit a wall somewhere.
Okay.
So, yeah, that definitely explains why he's been losing about almost a second a lap to Joel, and now Azakin's passed him as well. Futuristic is actually catching up to the back of him now, but it's the last lap, so it's going to be really tough to make up that much time, even with the wing damage.
Yeah, so damage limitation for Classic Boy was running pretty good there in P4, but down to P5 now. Just one lap left to defend from behind, but as you say, Futuristic 3 seconds behind, so it's going to be a bit of a mission for him to catch up. It'll have to be an error from Classic Boy if he's to see a move done.
Yeah, from the looks of it, Classic Boy also knows that he's taking these turns very carefully. He doesn't want to be caught up in any trouble here. He just wants to keep that 5th position.
I'm just watching Icewind here as he goes into the final sector. I know in Brazil in F2 he was leading on the final lap. He span out and lost that win, so he'll have that in the back of his mind here as he makes his way through the S's into the final corner sequence and onto the penultimate corner after this right-hander. Actually, I think this is the... Oh, it is. It's penultimate corner, and then the final corner coming up next. So I'm sure he's happy enough with this one. P1 in the bag with a 6-second lead. So McKinnon was able to eat into that lead a wee bit, but yeah, looks like a 1-2 for the BWT boys.
Somebody spun again. Is that? It is Gorla. Gorla has had another spin, so yeah, definitely not the best race for him, but he might be able to come back in the sprint race. So Azakin taking P4 here, Classic Boy in P5. Very solid races from those two guys. Futuristic in P6, and now Pretorius getting quite unlucky in this race. Still taking P7 here, getting back quite some of the positions he lost because of the disconnect.
And he did get the fastest lap there as well. Sorry,
right.
Yeah,
and
final lap.
It's Crystal taking the sprint race pole in P8. And points also for Yoda and Skorda unless something very big happens to him. So yeah, very solid race, and we do see Icewind and McKender just dominating this race pretty much. Icewind had the better strategy, I believe, and he also made that move on McKender. He took advantage of that mistake McKender made on the main straight. McKender just not able to catch back up. We saw his pace in qualifying. I think he was about 7/10 off. He had 7/10 on Icewind. And he did catch up quite a bit at the end there, gained about 4 seconds over a few laps, but still Icewind getting that perfect strategy there.
Yeah, pretty flawless drive from Icewind there. Classic Boy deserves a mention as well. P5, good strong finish from him. I think he started P10.
Yeah, I think so too. Very good move there. He gained quite some positions on track. Was fighting quite a bit with Futuristic as well, on the opposite strategy, and I think he kept the softs on for quite a bit as well. So yeah, very good drive from him as well.
The flying fins. Hey.
Yeah, the Finnish driver is definitely doing quite well in this race. You did say before the race to me that there's quite some Scandinavian drivers here today, so it was to be expected that at least some of them do well, and it's looking pretty good for those two. Okay, the game did not load the standings for me, but that's fine. We'll see them at the end of the sprint race now. We're preparing for the formation lap. It is who was it? Was it Crystal in the sprint race pole?
Yep.
Right, so Crystal and Pretorius now starting in the top 2 positions. Definitely looking very good from Pretorius, of course, the championship leader. He's going to be looking to gain quite some points here. With Icewind and McKender starting in P7 and 8, they're going to have to catch up quite a bit, especially with Joel still ahead of them, who is of course also Pretorius' teammate. He's gonna. I think we've seen Joel do some team play before as well, so he might be able to hold back the BWTs for at least a part of the race.
And I'm looking at the teams championship as well. So BWT 272 points, Dams, Prey, and Joel 251. So that first race, the BWT guys picking up a lot of points. They'll increase their lead. So Dams will have to have a strong finish here if they want to keep tabs on the BWT guys. So this is going to be very interesting, isn't it? We've got some very fast guys at the front, some very fast guys in the midfield, and then Legend at the very back, I see.
Yeah, he's also joined now for the second race. I believe he didn't have time to race the first one, but he decided to join for this one. Gonna be very interesting to see his pace here. I don't know how much... Oh, Gola already hitting walls. So his sprint race starting quite like his feature race was going. Just not very happy with this track, I believe. Everybody, of course, on the medium tires here, the harder compound, is going to be able to go the full 11 laps of this race, but if there's a safety car, we might just see some people pitting for the softs.
I must say, it is an honor to do commentary with you, but you are my arch nemesis in Tier 4, so it's mixed emotions, you know.
Well, are you afraid that I'm gonna beat you at commentating now?
Hey.
Wait, who can commentate faster? I'm gonna go. Crystal's in the lead right now, ahead of Pretorius with Futuristic Classic Boy, Zaken behind them, then Joel, McHenry, and Icewind in the two double BWT cars, and Yoda, Scordo, Gola, and Legend running out the grid here for the sprint race in Vietnam.
Okay, you win.
Yeah, should be a fun race to watch anyway. Vietnam, we saw what an interesting track it can be. There was some interesting moves as well. I really like that McHenry move in the S's. Maybe we'll see something like that. Usually in the sprint race we see the drivers making a bit more, let's say, opportune moves because they don't have as many laps to get their moves done and to get past the other cars, especially with the reverse grid as well. We have the quick guys starting at the back.
Yeah, I'm going to keep an eye on Legend at the back here at the start because we know he is a very fast driver as well, and no doubt he'll be making moves early on in this race. He's got 11 laps to go from P12 to... I'm sure he's aiming for P1, but let's go, Eversnacks, let's go.
And the lights are on. We have 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. And off we go. Looking pretty good for Crystals right now. Pretorius staying behind, I believe. That's not a very good start from him. It's already Futuristic fighting him for P2. Yeah, I believe Futuristic is almost... Oh, and there's contact. There's so much contact at the back. Oh, yeah, that was a big collision.
Classic Boy was T-boned and he was facing the wrong direction there. Oh, Joel off as well. Joel into the wall. I think he might have damage from that one.
Yeah, he's gonna have a lot of damage from that, I assume. That was not looking very good for the car. And Zaken also in well, I'm not exactly sure what.
Yeah, he got involved in that somehow.
Yeah, he's lost quite some positions as well, I'm sure.
No damage on his car, luckily enough, but yeah, Classic Boy, no damage on his car that I can see, but yeah, he was round, so he's lost a lot of time up there.
And we have Pretorius right on the back of Crystal, right, fighting for the lead right now. Pretorius is already on the back of Crystal, and he's already gaining.
Oh, and there's a battle going on as well between Scordo and Legend. Scordo almost squeezing Legend into the wall, and Legend up to P6 from P12, so he's had an absolutely perfect start here.
Crystal going very defensive here, but Pretorius taking that inside line, and now it's Crystal's job to fight back, but he gets a bit of wheel spin there, and he's behind Pretorius, so Pretorius taking the race lead. Now that's a really good position for him to be in. We do have Icewind in P4 as well, so Icewind also looking to make has already made some good moves here, but also, of course, looking to get towards the lead of the race.
Yeah, and McKenna as well was under attack from Gerla there, and he almost lost the back end. Oh, and Scordo! Oh, Scordo gets it all wrong in the S's, and McKenna goes into the back of him.
Yeah, McKenna has a lot of damage from that. He's lost both end plates and quite a bit of a swing, so that's McKenna's race over here, I believe. He's gonna go He's surely going to go into the pits with that much damage. No, he did not. Okay, that's interesting. McKenna has a lot of damage here right now. He's going to be struggling for a few laps, I'm sure. But I think he doesn't believe that the softs are going to go to the end of the race. So, yeah, he's going to have to stay out for now. That's not going to help him. This race is going to be a struggle for McKenna now. McKenna, of course, P2 in the championship, the one who was chasing down Pretorius. So now it's Icewind's job to get the points for BWT, and he's behind Futuristic now, fighting for P3. Of course, the top 4 are quite a bit away from everybody behind. Those 4 are the ones who weren't affected by the trouble at the race start. And now Legend's starting to catch up as well, with then Scordo also quite a big gap. And behind
big crash at the back, sorry, Eversnacks, but it was Classic Boy, and who is that off track there at the minute?
Oh, and Classic
Yoda.
Boy also touching with his Aiken.
Yeah,
There's
Classic Boy.
so much carnage.
Yeah, Classic Boy and Yuta just approaching the. They're on the shorter straight in Sector 1, and Yuta just squeezed Classic Boy, so big carnage there. I think Yuta actually has damage as well, so plenty of carnage early days in this race.
There's more touching between Azaken and Classic Boy as well. Azaken now trying to get past. Oh, Classic Boy switching back to the inside. That was an interesting move. They're still touching. They're touching wheels so much. It's almost like playing bumper cars here. And McKenna is the one who might benefit from that, actually. He's trying to get... Oh, well, he's really struggling with the understeer. He's barely got a wing anymore. So, yeah, he's almost hitting walls as well, so I don't think he'll be able to take advantage of the mistakes the guys in front are making. We have
back up. Sorry.
Icewind.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Icewind on the back of Futuristic. Yeah, he's looking pretty punchy. Looks like he wants to get a move on.
And there's more trouble! More contact! What's happening? Classic Boy, Azaken and Gurla are now fighting. Did something happen to Gurla, or did he just catch up to those guys? So really just carnage in this first few laps here.
Yeah, and Classic Boy's been involved in a lot of it, but he's still got a front wing intact, so looking good for him.
Yeah, and he had quite some pace. He had quite some pace in the feature race as well, so I think it might still be a good race for him if he can just get his head down and stop touching people now. That sounded a lot worse than it should. Wow.
Yeah, I didn't want to. I was like, no comment. I'm not touching that one.
Well,
Scordo
just like
well.
Classic Boy shouldn't.
Scordo as well, having a good race. He's kept his nose clean for the most part. P6 currently, but yeah, look at this. Legend 1.8 off the back of Icewind. Icewind might get a move on here past Futuristic. Is he going to send it past him? He does have the DRS here, and it looks like he does have the overspeed to make a move, and he goes for it. Is Futuristic going to fight it back? He does not. He feeds in behind, so Icewind up to P3.
Oh, bit of a lockup though. Icewind going too wide there. Oh yeah, he's gone very deep there. He's got a bit of a lockup, and now Futuristic took that position back right away. We have Azaken and Scordo switching positions in the Campos. I think it might be Campos, the orange cars here. And Classic Boy right on the back of Scordo now. I was almost preparing to say there's contact again, but they're keeping it clean for now.
Yeah, Scordo seems to struggle a little bit for the S's. Classic Boy just seemed to take a better line and close up here, but yeah, you can't really make a move there unless you're unless you've got a really good run. Oh, and Scordo getting a bad run there from the penultimate corner, and Classic Boy is harassing him all the way through down to turn 1.
Yeah, he really wants to get past here. And was that Azaken taking the fastest lap as well? So as soon as he cleared all the traffic, he's already back to the pace. And that's Scordo going very deep there, and Classic Boy taking advantage, taking P7 from him.
Yeah, a couple of guys pitting. Yuta retiring.
Oh, retirement.
Yeah, he's in the pits. McKenna in the pits as well, changing the front wing. He will come out dead last, I think, if not just in front of Joel.
Icewind still battling Futuristic here. They're taking some very different lines through these corners. So yeah, Icewind just struggling a bit because Futuristic is taking some different lines from him. So Icewind not really able to accelerate out the turns and into the straights. But now with the DRS assistance, it could just be the chance for a move. He's definitely taking advantage of the slipstream here, trying to stay right behind Futuristic. And could it be another move in this lap? He made the move once before. Can he do it again? And yes, Futuristic slots him behind again. Icewind getting a lockup again, but this time he doesn't go that wide. and he's up into P3, and Legend now on the chase as well. Legend going after Futuristic after starting at the back, which is quite impressive, I gotta say.
Yeah, I think that was a really important move for Icewind to pull off, as Icewind does go wide there and compromises his run for the S's, but I don't think Futuristic is going to get a move past him here. But yeah, Icewind really need to get that move done, because look at Legend, he's now all over the back of Futuristic, so Icewind has a bit of a buffer, but Legend carrying that 3-second time penalty, he picked it up on this lap, so that's going to hurt him.
Alright, Pretorius now out in the lead and just starting to pull away from Crystal now. He's 5 seconds ahead already, and he set the fastest lap now. So Pretorius definitely looking to keep this race lead, while Icewind is catching up to the back of Crystal now, which also means that he's pulling Futuristic and Legend along with him. So Crystal might be having a lot of defending to do in the next few laps.
I'm thinking we're probably going to see guys starting to pit this lap or next for softs.
I don't think we'll see any pit stops, because I think some people did about 11. Oh, and that's quite a dive from Legend. Yeah, he's definitely cut that corner quite a bit, so 3-second time penalty for him. Icewind on the back of Crystal now. As I was just about to say, I don't think we'll be seeing any pit stops, because I think there was some people who did 11 laps on the mediums, and you don't have the mandatory pit stop in the sprint race. So might just be that all of these drivers are going to be able to stay out until the end of the race, unless there's a safety car, of course. If there's a safety car, they might just benefit from that and go for the softs. Icewind fighting Crystal here for P2, and Crystal not quite able to defend that. Icewind up into P2 and now chasing after Pretorius, who's already got a 6.6 second gap right now after only 5 laps. That's quite impressive. But everybody behind has been fighting, so yeah,
oh,
definitely.
and I just picked up something as well. X-Crystal in the S's hit the wall, and looks like he's lost a bit of his front end plate, which is not good news for him, as he has Legend and Futuristic right behind him.
Yeah,
we have a yellow flag.
There is a yellow flag. Scordo. Scordo is around, and he's hit a wall. Yeah, his tires are definitely overheated, so he must have spun somewhere, and I think he's got quite some wing damage as well. No, he doesn't. Alright, that's good for him. And now we see a move from Legend on Crystals. He's taking the outside here, but he's on the inside for the next corner. He's gonna keep that position for now. So some touching here, some wheel banging, but Legend just staying ahead, and Crystal now with the DRS assistance might be able to fight back. Yeah, so Crystal's missing an end plate here, but yeah, as we've seen before, just missing an end plate doesn't mean that your race is over. You can still keep racing, and well, Legend does have a time penalty, so it might just be worth to keep fighting here.
Yeah, Legend actually has 2 penalties, so 6 seconds penalty, so that's probably going to cost him a podium spot here, but yeah, well, X-Crystals with that front wing damage, will Futuristic get past him and be able to hold on to that 6-second gap to Legend and get that podium? That would be a good one.
I think it might be down to whether, sorry, it might be down to whether Crystal can stay in the DRS window of Legend here, because if he can, then, oh, Futuristic getting it out of shape here, but then if Crystal can stay in the DRS of Legend, then it's going to be a lot tougher for Futuristic to get past Crystal here.
And Icewind closed up by 1 second on that gap to P1, but I don't think it's going to be enough, but you never know. Anything can happen at this stage, but I can see that delta just coming down, 4.8 at the minute, but I'll keep an eye on that. We're now on lap 7, so there's 4 laps remaining after this one.
Interestingly enough, we see Joel pitting for... He did he even change the tires? I think he's gone onto a different set of used mediums now. So Joel into the pits and back out of the pits. I'm not sure if he's gonna go for a fastest lap or something, just to take the potential points off Icewind, I guess. Might be worth it for the team. Oh, Crystal struggling a bit here. Futuristic taking advantage of that mistake, and it's Futuristic up into P4, and he's gonna go after Legend. There's a 2.5 second gap right now. Legend needs 6 seconds to keep that podium position at the end of the race. And Zaken catching up to those two guys as well. Zaken has been very quick on this track, and he should be on the back of Crystal with the wing damage too. Oh, I think Crystal actually hit another wall somewhere. His damage is looking quite bad now.
Yeah, I think X Crystal's not going to get the move on Futuristic here, even with the use of DRS. He's too far back, I think. We'll find out as they approach the end of this straight. Very heavy brigand zone. He does seem to have a bit of a run.
We have seen some drivers get it very wrong here, so it's always a possibility if you just get the braking right that you get past the driver in front. And oh! Is that a safety? It's a full safety car! Gurla! Yeah, Gurla's just completely at the wall. His car is not looking good. There's about 2 punctures and a missing tire.
Oh dear. So what do you do? What's the guy at the front gonna do? Like Praetorius is past the pits, I believe.
No,
Yeah.
he's
oh,
pitting.
He's in the pits.
Yeah.
He's in the pits. That's Joel actually ahead. So Joel's brought back into this as well. He's still on the lead lap.
Icewind pitting. Legend pitting as well. Futuristic also pitting. Looks like everybody's pitting. Crystal might be pitting for his wing damage now. He might get out ahead of Classic Boy if he gets lucky. Zaken also pitting. Everybody's just pulling into the pits. I think that's the best choice here. You want those soft tires because the mediums are going to be pretty, well, would be pretty worn at the end of the race. I don't think it's going to be worth to stay out on them. I was expecting at least somebody to take the gamble, but no, everybody wants to play it safe here. Wants to get some fresh tires and back out of the pits for the safety car restart.
Even Scordo back in P8 in the pits. McKender, I think he's gonna pit as well. He doesn't actually. McKender stays out. He is on those 3-lap olds also. We'll be able, yeah, they're pretty much in their prime, so I guess he doesn't have to pit, but he doesn't really gain anything here from. Oh, actually, will he? He will pick up a few positions here. Actually, he's got.
I think he'll get past
3 guys in the
at
pits.
least.
Yeah, there's 2 guys that's on their exit from the pits. I don't know if
be
McKenna's
close,
gonna get him. Yeah, I think they get out ahead of him, so Kender up to P8 and brought back into this game, or this race by the safety car.
Yeah, he's gonna be looking towards at least getting quite some points now. Crystal, by the way, out behind the Zaken and Classic Boy. Did the Zaken also have some wing damage to fix? I think he lost some time there in the pits.
Yeah, I think he did, yeah.
Yeah, so Zaken also pitting for wing damage there and back down into P6 now. With Praetorius and Icewind, that's going to be a very interesting battle for the lead because I think there was about a 5-second gap between them. And Icewind had some extremely good pace in the feature race, so he's going to be doing everything he can to get that race lead. And I think there might just be only 2 laps of racing left at the end. That's always the issue if there's a safety car in these sprint races. You don't have a lot of laps. No, Joel is pitting as well. Is he going to get back out in front of the safety car? I think he will. And that's bringing him back into the race as well, possibly. But it's going to be hard for him to catch up to the back of the field now. Pretty sure the safety car isn't going to stay out that long because it's almost the end of the race.
Yeah, and these late safety cars, I mean, they make the race very, very interesting for the viewer, but as a driver, they're very stressful. At least I find that, because everybody knows that it's all to play for. The whole field is closed up again, and you got 2 laps to make up as many positions as you can. So we may see a few incidents here, as all the drivers are going to be pretty bunched up for about 2 laps of, yeah. Some pretty good racing, hopefully. And
yeah,
Joel is a way off. Yeah, he's still sector 1, and safety car just making its way through turn 1. But how much time is he going to be able to make up before the? I'm sure the safety car is in this lap. It has to be. So
yeah,
Joel have his skates on right now, trying to catch up, but it's going to be a bit of a mission. Scordo as well, quite a way back.
Well, Joel is not quite pushing much, I believe. It doesn't look like he is. So he might not be expecting to catch up even, and just trying to have a good race here, trying to have some fun in the last few laps, which is fair enough. After you've gotten quite unlucky at the race start, I think he's had some incidents there. So yeah, just trying to put on some fresh tires and just ride the track. Oh, as he almost hits the wall there.
just dual things, so I think that falls under.
Yeah, okay, so there's going to be 2 laps of racing. The safety car is going to come in this lap for sure. And it's going to be really hard for Icewind to overtake Pretorius, because there's not going to be DRS if there's only 2 laps race of the left. Wait 1 second. 2 laps left of the race. So yeah, gonna be tough, but also gonna be very interesting to watch, because Icewind does have the pace advantage over Pretorius, judging from what we've seen. And they're gonna be very close to each other. I just hope it's not gonna be carnage again like it was at the race start. And we do have confirmation safety car in this lap. And I don't think Scordo's gonna be able to catch up to the back of the field here if he doesn't push now. Oh, he cuts a corner.
Oh my word. I saw that as well. That was pretty blatant. 3-second time penalty for him. So him and Legend, the only guys out there with penalties, and I think we're about to see the safety car peel into the pits here, and
yeah,
Pretorius is
setting the pace.
Yep, he will be the lead car and dictate how this race gets underway again. This is going to be a pretty good one for us, though. We get Icewind and Pretorius, probably the 2 fastest guys in this series, going against each other head to head.
Pretorius has gone already, I think. So Icewind lost quite a bit of time there at the restart, but behind them we have some closer fighting. I think it's Legend very close to the back of Futuristic. We also see Crystal quite hanging on to the back of Azaken, but Azaken very quick on this track. So Icewind now 8/10 behind Pretorius. He wants to be a bit closer if he wants to make that overtake for P1. Legend trying to make moves on Futuristic, but Legend also with the 6-second time penalty. That's not going to help him. Scordo, by the way, almost caught up to the back of the field there, and now it's Legend making a move on Futuristic. He's taking the inside here, and he is taking that position. Yeah, so Futuristic now behind Legend, and Classic Boy in P5 trying to take advantage of that as well. And he's on the inside. Futuristic behind him now, so Futuristic dropping down quite a bit here at the restart. Bit of a shame for him. He had a quite good start into the race, but yeah, he's losing those positions now because he was struggling a bit at the restart. Now Azaken also trying to make a move, with Classic Boy trying to get past Legend, but Icewind losing time to Pretorius. Pretorius definitely having the nerves of steel here and just keeping that first place. There's quite a close battle here from P3 down. Everybody is within about half a second of each other. And they're all in the S's. It's going to be down to who takes the best lines here. To be very close at the start-finish straight. And possibly make a move.
Yeah, and X Crystal's again leaving his mark on the wall there. Slight tap. I don't think he got any damage from it. But yeah, it's basically who blinks first here, who makes the first mistake. Futuristic is feeling a lot of heat though. He's already had 2 overtakes done on him in the last lap, and he's got 2 guys behind him looking very fast, as I can especially right on his gearbox as they head into turn 1. But yeah, I think Icewind, he's just about maintaining that gap to Pretorius in P1. It's just about 1 second at the minute, and as you say, no DRS this time around.
So Pretorius did just set the fastest lap of the race, but Icewind was able to catch back up just a bit. So we might see something towards the end of the... just maybe a bit of an opportune move here towards the end of the race, if Icewind is feeling lucky. But yeah, I think we know him as a rather clean driver, and I don't think he's going to be making any stupid dives on Pretorius here. He's just going to drive that P2 home if there's nothing coming between him and that second place.
Here, Azaken's got a run on Futuristic. He's using Slipstream. He doesn't have DRS, so he pulls out. He's going to take the outside line for this next corner we've seen before. A lot of drivers making a lot of mistakes here, so let's see who does the best
pulling
job
back out to the inside, and Azaken just pulling in behind Classic Boy now. He's... oh yeah, Azaken getting a very good run through the hairpin there, and Futuristic is down another position with now Crystal behind him.
Yeah, so a bad 2 laps for Futuristic. It was P3 at one point, I believe, and now is down to P6.
Azaken really trying to get past Classic Boy here, but in these S's it's almost impossible to overtake. We've seen one move here before, But yeah, it's not quite enough for Zaken here. We still have 2 turns to go. Is it enough? He's taking the outside. He's taking the outside, going back to the inside. Classic Boy taking the defense, taking the inside line. Oh, is he gonna make the move? It's very close to the end of the race. Oh, there's some touching as well. Classic Boy just staying ahead. Classic Boy taking that podium because of Futuristic's time penalties there. Because of Legend's time penalties, of course. Legend down in P8 now at the end of the sprint race. That was quite a race and quite an ending there as well. But yeah, Classic Boy on the podium. I'm not sure if there was some big contact there at the end of the race.
Yeah, it didn't seem like the cleanest of defending from Classic Boy there, moving across on his icon on a straight, but maybe we'll have a wee chat with him afterwards and see what the crack was. But yeah, P3 for now anyway. Classic Boy with a pretty solid performance in both races.
Yeah, it's a really good pace here. Like, he's not a full-time driver here, so to come in these F2 cars and just have good pace, that's quite impressive either way. So the result right now, Pretorius from Icewind and Classic Boy on the podium, then Zaken, Futuristic, Crystals, McKender with a pretty unlucky race, and Legend in P8 with the time penalties at the end of this race.
Yeah,
oh, and I think, are we seeing donuts. I didn't catch them on stream, but I think there was some donuts there.
It was a Joel, yeah?
Yeah, Joel just, I saw him stopped on the track and I was wondering why the race wasn't ending, but yeah, now we have the answer.
Yeah, so those 6 seconds of penalties that Legend picked up really hurt his race there. He could have had a really good finish without them, but dropped down the order. But for this one, Pretorius, no disconnect in this race. P1 for now, so damage limitation on those points for the constructors.
Yeah, that was quite a good race there from Pretorius in the second one, especially just keeping the gap to Icewind at the end there. It was only 2 laps, so no DRS for Icewind. So yeah, alright, who do we want to give the driver of the day to then? I think there's quite some contenders in this one. So
yeah, I mean, one stands out for me would be Classic Boy, but yeah, I don't know, that last incident there with a Zyken, I don't know, it takes the shine of it a little bit, but I think yeah, overall he did the best. He improved in most positions.
Yeah, he's gained a lot. He's gained a lot in the first race, and even in the second race, just holding on to those places and making some moves at the end there. I think he was involved in a lot of incidents. I'm not sure whose fault they were, but just to keep his car alive through all of that, I'm sure there was some cars to avoid there as well. Quite the impressive drive from a reserve driver. So.
On to the interviews then. So let's have a look. We've got a bunch of guys here. Scordo, Prey, Classic Boy, Karaoke Leader, X Crystals, Jewel. Who do you want to speak to first?
Let's grab Joel first.
Yeah. Hello. Last but not least, I think is a saying that's applicable, isn't it? But you had a pretty good first race. Second one, I'm sure you want to forget about that one, but let's relive it.
Yeah. Well, I think turn 1, I was sandwiched. I was in the middle, and then both people on either side of me just turned into me. So I was actually none of my wheels were on the track. I'm being absolutely serious. I haven't got it recorded. I should have, but I was literally on top of both of the cars because they drove into me and under me somehow, which was weird. And I got dropped back down onto the track after a few seconds, got wing damage, and then I just kept making mistakes because once it goes downhill, it keeps going downhill.
So you had a delayed safety car in the second race. Were you thinking, oh right, I'm back in it, or were you aware that you might not be able to catch up with the safety car by the time it went in?
I would have been able to catch up if I didn't pit, but I pit on to a new set of softs, which I weren't actually new. I realised they're already on 40%. So I could have just caught up by not pitting and be on better tyres, but I didn't realise that. So I don't know.
Okay, and yeah, your teammate Prey took the win in the second race. He had that disconnect. Were you in VC with him at the time?
Yeah.
Was he a happy boy? No.
Not after the disconnect. No.
No, I'm sure.
I
Yeah,
was.
he was looking pretty good. Okay, well, thanks for joining us in the commentators booth. We will look forward to seeing you next week, I believe.
Yeah.
So until then, speak to you soon.
Bye-bye.
Who else? We've got pretty much everybody here who's in the race almost.
There's quite a few drivers there.
Yeah, we'll go for Iceland, the winner of the first race.
Sure.
So Iceland, hello, good evening, and yeah, tell us about your races. I mean, you had a pretty stellar performance out there, but tell us why they were rubbish actually, and
I mean, the first race was I was a bit. I don't know if Pretorius got picked up damage or did he just have like a very scruffy start to the race because he was like 4 seconds away on lap 3 or something like that, and we were like a bit surprised by that. And I was in VC with Mackinder, and then we kind of just because we saw that everybody else fell a lot behind, and we just sort of focused on protecting the 1-2. Mackinder picked up damage, and then he wasn't supposed to repair his wing, but he did, and that kind of put us a bit under pressure. And then I don't know what exactly happened, so I think there was some small contact with him and Pretorius in the first race, but yeah, if I probably will take a look at that if that's something to be done. But yeah, I was just sort of, I don't know if you picked it up, but I actually had damage in the first race as well. Like I hit the wall on lap 7 or something, and then I just, but I had like such a huge gap behind me, like 10 seconds, so I just.
Yeah, I think we were.
Yeah.
I think we did see McKenna catching up to you at the end of the first race there, but you did have quite amazing pace at the start of that race. So yeah, we're wondering a bit what happened to you there, but we're just assuming you were taking it careful.
Yeah, it was two things, like taking it careful, and then I also tapped the wall, which gave me yellow wing damage. So that was probably half of it, but yeah, mostly it was just sort of protecting the lead because I was so far ahead. And yeah, the sprint race, I don't know what happened at the start. Like I got a pretty good launch, and I braked pretty early into turn 1, and then I saw somebody like sideways ahead of everybody, and I just went on the inside, and suddenly I was in P4, and I was like, oh, okay. That's how it is then. And then I had quite a bit of trouble actually passing Futuristic, which was a bit of a surprise. I thought I would have good straight line speed with my setup, but it actually wasn't that good. But managed to pass him, and then also passed Crystals, but Pretorius was like a little bit too far away, and then that the safety car restart, I didn't really have anything to attack him. I was faster than him in the last sector, but he was better than me in the sector 1 and 2 where the overtaking opportunities are. So yeah, it's happy with the result and happy with the team points today.
Yeah, very, very impressive drive from you for sure. Definitely taking command of that first race, even with the wing damage, especially with that. It's quite an amazing feat to just keep that, even keep a very large gap to the end of the race there. And then in the second one, of course, still very, very good drive, keeping it clean, getting those positions. So yep. Yeah, definitely looking good for the championship right now. I think you've gained quite some points in Pretorius, despite him winning the second race there.
Honestly, I don't even know what's the situation on the drivers' championship. I'm not focused on that at all. We're just thinking about the team play here with Mackinder, so I have no idea what's the points tally on that. But I sort of just focusing on doing the best effort as a team, and we'll just see where that takes us at the end of the season. So yeah.
All right, so very good team play there from BWT. Thank you for joining us in the interview booth.
Thanks.
And we'll move you back then.
Yep, see you guys.
We'll bring Pretorius anything?
Yes.
Yeah. So Pretorius, it was Denmark versus Finland today.
Yes.
Yeah, in the first half, yeah, Finland won, but the second half, Denmark came back. So yeah, pretty good showing from you. I mean, I'm pretty gutted for that disconnect. We do see it happen, quite frequently with you, but that one seemed to be especially painful. You were running pretty good there. Just tell us about your first race and then that disconnect.
Yeah, I don't know why. I mean, my internet works fine all the day, all the time. Just for some reason, not when it's time for F2. So I can't quite understand why, but yeah, it happens sometimes in the F1 and the Tier 1 races as well, but it's mostly in F2. So yeah, that's really annoying. I was yeah, at that moment when I disconnected, I basically thought the championship was over because I thought that it was a lot closer than it actually was. But yeah, I was quite relieved after I checked the standings afterwards and saw that going into the race, I actually had a much bigger lead than I thought I had. So it wasn't that bad after all, but it definitely still cost a lot, some important points. Because I think McKenna had some sort of issue because he finished in second instead of first, and he was ahead of Icewind before the pits. So if everything had gone smoothly, maybe I could have finished second behind Icewind and then McKenna in third, and maybe I also could have had the fastest lap. So in that way, yeah, the disconnect costs a lot of important points. But I think at the end, actually, according to the points in the result screen, I got 1 point more than McKenna, which seems hard to believe because he got pole position and he got his most of his points in the feature race or he got the better position in the feature race, which is where the bigger points are. But if that is the case, and I did gain 1 more point, then that's obviously very relieving because I thought I would have suffered a really, really big loss to him after this one.
Yeah, and the second race, then you got that late safety car. How did that affect your psyche whenever you were, whenever you took over the control of the race? It became the lead car. You had Icewind behind you. Were you worried at all, or did you feel like you had it under control?
Yeah, I was thinking about the potential of a safety car during the first stint of the sprint, and I did think that like a safety car would be the worst thing that could happen to me. So I was just hoping that it wouldn't happen. And I did start saving my medium tires because I had a pretty big lead and there was no reason to extend it. So I thought I would save my tires a bit in case of a safety car, but then I ended up pitting for softs anyway, so it didn't really matter. But yeah, I wasn't quite sure in the moment what to do, but I thought at worst I would lose like 2 positions if people stayed out, so I thought it was the right choice to pit, and yeah, everybody else pitted as well, so it definitely was the right choice for this situation. And yeah, I did actually end up gaining me points to McKenna instead. Because before the safety car, he was running in P10 with fastest lap, so he would have had those 2 points for the fastest lap, and that's it. And I would have had the 15 points for the win, but then thanks to the safety car, I also got the fastest lap, so I got 17 points, and he still got 2 points due to finishing P7. So even though it sort of caused some, yeah, it sort of stressed me out to get such a late safety car and have my lead cut down. It did actually gain me an advantage at the end, so that was good.
Yeah, so 2 races left in this series, Singapore and USA. Are you looking forward to those ones? I mean, the championship could go either way. I mean, you do have a bit of a cushion, but as we saw today, anything can happen. So 2 races left, lots of points on the table. How do you feel about them?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest the thing that could screw it up most for me is just my internet if that stuff happens again. But yeah, if my calculations are correct, I should have a 30-point lead now over McKenna. So I mean, yeah, I'm feeling fairly confident. We did race in Singapore last season, and I had quite good pace there. So yeah, I just have to do two more races where I don't lose 15 points or more to McKenna, which should be doable. So yeah, I'm pretty hopeful.
Cool. Well, it was good to speak to you, man. Another fine performance. Pity about the disconnect, but you always seem to bounce back anyway, even with those major issues. It would probably kill off anyone else's race. You always seem to come back from them. So good job on damage limitation in the feature race and then winning the sprint race. So look forward to seeing you again on track. And yeah, thanks for joining us in the commentators booth.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
We'll go for one more maybe. Or
Wait, do we want to grab the driver of the day then?
yeah, let's go for it. Let's see what this man has to say for himself. Cosibar, are you there? You're
Yes.
in the hello. Yeah, so we got you driver of the day today. You had two pretty strong
I?
performances.
Am I?
Yeah,
Really?
well, yeah.
Wow, okay, cool.
Are you gonna
Nice.
talk yourself out of it?
No.
We can still award it to someone else. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Please,
definitely
no.
some really good pace from you. Especially in the first race, I wasn't expecting it that much because the qualifying didn't go too well, I think. But then you did make your way up the field. So tell us about your race.
Very good, very good. That's about it.
All right. Short and clear. So yeah, the first race seemed quite clean and actually almost felt like an easy drive for you. There was some fighting there with, I think it was Futuristic and Azaken, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, you gained quite some points there, and then in the second race, pretty good starting position, but then a few incidents. Can you tell us something about what happened there?
Forward into turn 1, chaos. I tried to overtake Yoda from the outside, then he kind of closed the door and hit the wall. So I thanked him for the position, kind of. Like few laps after that, I don't remember who, someone decided to dive bomb me and they hit the wall. Very, very beautiful. And then I was on the podium.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a very close podium there at the end with the safety car. How was defending at the end there? I think you were in a pretty good position at the safety car restart. So how stressful was the end of the race there?
Very stressful. I was shaking. Too scary.
Good stuff. Man of many words, classic boy. Usually you talk a lot more than this, I have to say, whenever I'm in VC with you. But yeah, I want to be more explicit about that last lap. Now,
Okay. Okay.
you seem to be defending a bit too much from a Zygon there on the very last sector. What was your take on that?
I was too scared he was gonna overtake me on the line because the line was too far away. So I decided to do a little push on him so he would slow down, but I think I did a little bit too hard there. And that was not nice. I'm sorry.
There you go, Zygon, if you're listening, a public apology on stream. Let's see if the people believe the apology or they think you should retire from life, Meepo.
Oh, okay.
But
That
here,
sounds a bit
listen,
harsh.
you know, with all the incidents aside, I mean, you did have a really good performance in both races today. So, if nothing else, you can take that away, and you've got driver of the day as well in the bag. So, maybe a reserve status worthy drive from you today. I don't know. What do you think yourself?
Thank you.
Okay.
I'll say
Well,
thank you. That's all.
yeah, I'll take it. Okay. So thanks for joining us in the commentators booth. Hopefully see you again in the coming races.
Maybe, maybe not.
What a character. I don't know if you want to bring in extra people, I don't mind. Eversnacks, I don't mind.
I think we saw some good battles from Futuristic. Maybe let's hear him as well. But then I think the stream might be getting a bit long. So let's grab Futuristic. Hello, Futuristic. Welcome to the commentators booth.
Hello.
Quite some close fighting from you today. How was the races?
Well, it was hard to defend. Ow! It was hard. Oh, there it is. It was hard to defend on the back straight. I mean, the slipstream, even without DRS, it was hard because I think I had too much wings. So I couldn't really keep them behind for a really long time, but I was keeping up in the third sector, but I was losing time in 1 and 2, which was a bit annoying. But yeah, I had a nice battle with Icewind, I believe it was.
All right,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
I think that safety car messed up your race at the end there a bit in the sprint race, because you were running pretty well in that race, but then of course everybody behind you probably running less wings and just being able to take you on the long back straight there. So a bit of a shame there, but still very strong driving from you. We saw you quite a bit up the order, and definitely some close battle as well. How was the fighting for you? Because I think there were quite a few incidents, especially in the sprint race. I think you benefited a bit from that. But yeah, how was the close fighting on track for you?
Well, it was a bit. It went both ways, both good and good. Both good and bad, to be honest. It was good for one lap with Icewind, and it was bad with Legend and everyone else. And as you said, the safety car it helped me somewhat, and because I knew that Asaken and Classic Boy were faster than me over the laps, but they might have catched me at the end, but they might have not. So it was quite interesting. But to be honest, I think I'd rather had the safety car to secure a P5 or P6. What I got. I would have lost more time or more positions, I believe, if the safety car didn't come out.
Yeah, I think you took P5 there at the end with Legend taking some penalties after the race. So yeah, very strong drive from you. It was nice seeing some close battles. Next race, we're in Singapore. How's that looking for you?
Suck. It's the same with Monaco and Vietnam. I said it in the Italian interview, and I said it in the Bahrain interview, and I will say it here in the Vietnam interview. Get rid of this F2 street circus, please. F2 staff, if you're listening, seriously, get rid of it.
Yeah, I think we've heard that opinion from you before, but you do seem to do quite well on some of these tracks, so maybe just benefiting from other people's misfortunes somewhat, but also you have quite some good pace on these tracks as well, so might not be too bad, even if it's some tough races. But yeah, hoping to see you again in the next race.
Yeah, which is Singapore, by the way.
Okay, I got it. I got it, Dorsham. A promise is a promise.
Okay.
And I will keep it.
Okay. Yes, we'll hold you to it. But thanks for joining us in the commentaries. But I've got X Crystals shouting at me here, saying he wants an interview for some reason. So we'll bring him in for that. So futuristic, I look forward to seeing you in the final 2 races of the season. Until then, speak to you later.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey, thank you.
We'll bring in we may as well bring Scordo in as well then. So X Crystals, I believe you want to have an interview. So is there something you want to get off your chest?
Yeah, I mean, the race was terrible, but apart from that, I mean, Classy Boy type won by everyone, so yeah, I mean, yeah, drive of the day, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I think we'll be seeing some. I believe we'll be seeing some FIA reports. I'm very interested to see the results of those, but yeah, until then it's just a bit of a messy race there in the sprint race, I think.
Yeah, I mean, everything was horrible today. Without the practice, the setup was horrible, and yeah, I hit the walls a lot of times. I spun information lab, so
The classic. That's just part of the races at this point.
yeah.
And we have Scordo here as well. Scordo, I mean, just tell us, what happened during your 2 races there.
always here as the manager of Campos, so I'm gonna talk on behalf of both of us. But today has been, I think, a very successful day for the boys in orange, and I personally have a point, which in my opinion is in this field of very fast drivers that definitely are way quicker than me is an achievement. Even though there were only 11 guys starting in the feature race, it still didn't finish last, and that's something. But yeah, it was quite chaotic. I think I got spun like once, a few people going very aggressive on the straights, but I mean that's racing. We'll see about that in the FIA. But overall, very very. I mean, considering it's Vietnam, which I absolutely hate, it was okay. So it could have been worse. Sprint race was absolutely terrible. I was on like minus 0.3 fuel when the safety car came out, and I just realized it when the safety car came out. So I couldn't catch up to the field because I had to save fuel by constantly coasting, and everything just went to shit at that point. But yeah, overall, it was an interesting experience.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah,
then.
well, not really. But okay. Yeah.
Scordo, did you see any of this Classic Boy action that other people?
I mean, I think
complaining about?
that's not really something I want to talk about in the interview. I mean, it's not really the classiest move to go all in on that guy, especially if he's not here to defend himself. So I just won't do any of that. I think you already talked about the move on the finish line, so that's the only thing I maybe would have mentioned. But otherwise, I think that the FIA handle it, and yeah, not really something to talk about in the interview.
Yeah, we're just hoping to get a bit more insight because I mean, from the stream point of view, it looked like he had his elbows out a few times there, but obviously we're not driving the car, so we're not sure exactly what happened. But yeah, like I say, FIA will have a look after the race. Yeah, so are you guys glad that race is over? Is
Yeah.
like,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
I mean,
And
I mean, let's be honest here. Vietnam is probably no one's favorite track. There's probably
Yeah.
someone on this Discord who would say that it is his favorite track, which I just can't believe. But I mean, to each their own, right? But yeah, it's just, especially in the F2 car, if you have so little control. I mean, at least when I'm driving it, so little control over what it does. It's just so frustrating.
I mean, also I copy Severin's setup, and it was just horrible. So yeah, that's his fault, not mine.
Okay, guys. Well, listen, thanks for joining us in the commentary, but we're gonna have to end the stream around about now. So yeah, we'll hopefully speak to you in the coming weeks. Till then, we'll see you later, guys.
Yeah.
Great, thank you.
Nice evening.
There we go.
All right, so that's the interviews over. Definitely got some interesting information from those interviews. I think we'll have a busy day at the FIA panel, or a busy week, I guess, when they look at all these reports that should be coming. But it was fun to watch anyway, as it always is when there's a mess in these F2 races. And a lot of action happening for sure. But yeah, I think that was to be expected with these F2 cars in Vietnam. I'm actually quite surprised that there was only one safety car. I would have bet at least 3 of them. But yeah, I think that rounds out for round 7, and we'll be back, I believe, next week for Singapore round 8, the penultimate race, and it's gonna be quite close in the championship battle, I believe, between the Dams and the BWT. So do make sure to tune in again. Thank you for watching today, and we'll hope to see you again next week. All right,
Yep,
thank you.
Yeah, bye. Thanks.